Forza Horizon 4 is a must-own for Xbox One owners or any racing fan that's looking for a solid racer where it can do almost endless stuff. Forza Horizon 4 is a game for you. This game is one of the best racing games ever. It's still the best Forza game today and probably the best Xbox One racing game. Yes. This title is a must-have for Xbox One owners, and it's a recommendation for those who are looking for an Xbox One and looking for what games to play on it. I would totally recommend Forza Horizon 4. It's almost endless gameplay, because the game has seasons, and then each week the in-game season will change, bringing whole new stuff to do. To get new cars they can't get in the auto show, and so many more. So the game also has some minor problems with it, like the sense of speed, the damage bottle, the smoke effects when you're drifting or doing a burnout. But I feel like this is a game accessible to any racing game fan, or heck, even outsiders, since you can do stuff and they can't do it in real life in Forza Horizon 4. Like, so Forza Motorsport, when it first debuted in 2005, it was aimed more towards simulation. It was supposed to be a direct competitor to Gran Turismo, and that was until Forza Horizon 3, when the game series became more of a simcade. Simcade is basically simulation and some arcade racing aspects in the game. This game has plenty of different racing types. There's street racing, road racing, off-roading, rally racing, and much more. The game also has emotes and character customization. So, emotes are basically just a whole bunch of infamous memes back when Vine was still a thing, which was a while ago until the site got shut down. And also has a dab emote, which is one of the rarest in the game. Also has a car selection of over 450 cars. Gone over that since the game has been getting live support in a very good way. And there's plenty of content. There's even a battle royale mode called the Eliminator. In the Eliminator, you race other players, and then if you beat them, they get eliminated, but if they beat you, you get eliminated. And then every day, there are still new Forza-thon challenges to complete, and every hour, there's a Forza-thon live event to go to. Like, this game will keep you busy for a while. And this is I definitely recommend this game. So, as you can see, I'm trying to get this dangerous time right now for a seasonal playlist objective. And seasonal playlist has so many events, and you get cool rewards like a new car, super wheel spins, or an emote. Then there's Forza-thon challenges as well with it. Then if you complete a certain amount of the seasonal challenges, you can get a certain car. Like for the winter Forza stuff, the winter playlist, last time it had a Toyota 2000 GT, which I actually won. Then this time it's a Koenigsegg 1-1, which I'm definitely going for. So that's definitely one of my favorite modern hypercars. And love the Toyota 2000 GT as well. So this game has endless gameplay possibilities, like I said. The game also has a kind of decent soundtrack. I actually really like the soundtrack in Forza Horizon 4. It's not as good as Horizon 3 soundtrack, since it had more stations in Forza Horizon 4. Since there's no there's no favorite real like in Horizon 3 if you've played it. But this game is, you can definitely notice how big of a step up it was from Horizon 3. Like now so it's in Britain, and then Britain is actually more of an interesting place. Right now the map is more interesting than Australia and Horizon 3. And this game also has some replacements for Horizon 3, like bucket list challenges that are now businesses or Horizon stories, which are similar, and they can't figure out anything, and there's no custom soundtrack feature, which I hope they have in Horizon 5. So, Horizon 4 also has plenty of car upgrades. Even though it's not as in-depth as something like Need for Speed Heat, but there's a good amount of customization parts, like there's bike kit presets, or you just got the bland Forza parts, like the spoiler and the And Nerth's game succeeds is that the game is actually kind of cheap right now. I think you can get it for like $30 because the game is like 2 years old, and it's definitely worth that price. It's also definitely worth $60, even though you can get it for cheaper. Get cheaper now. And probably the only thing turning you off on this game is probably if you don't have an Xbox One or not interested, or you're probably looking out for PC, but your PC can't run it. But if you have an Xbox One, definitely buy this game. Like, you don't have to be a racing game fan or anything. You just have to have a passion for a good game. This can definitely appeal to outsiders. It can also get outsiders into cars, since this game does so much about cars and like physics and everything. They just nailed like almost everything in this game. Like the car selection, the physics are pretty good for Simcade. And the only thing that the game doesn't do good at is, like I said, the damage model, the crash physics are garbage, and the tire smoke effects, but those are just minor things. And the game also has custom event options, so you can create your own events and then share them with the Forza community, and they can play your events and feedback on it. You can even, so in Horizon 3, you can just create your own event name and set up everything. But now you can actually create your own event route. And my favorite thing to do in this game, like for racing, is the cross country, because it is so much fun. Yeah, it is so fun. And there's also plenty of cars that you'll need. Like, for example, the Jeep Trailcat, the BMW Isetta, like those cars. And this game also doesn't really have a very good narrative, even though that's pretty minor, like I said. And it just makes the game more alive. I talked about that on my Forza Horizon 1 video. Like, it just stands out for the rest of the series, since the game just feels more alive than the other games. That's why I go back to it. That's why I think it's aged well. Forza Horizon 4, it's definitely like one of the best racing games ever, like no doubt. So this game is probably going to get my 10 out of 10. It's a legendary game. Even though some minor nitpicks, yeah, but you can still it's very accessible to almost anyone. Probably anyone who owns an Xbox One and wants a very good racing game. This is definitely for them. And there's also a few expansions for the game. There's Fortune Island, which adds a whole new area to the game. Even though it's kind of small, but adds enough to it. Like, adds more switchbacks for drifting. Definitely a good place for drifting. Also has a little more off-roading. And you can also get 1 million credits by doing treasure hunts. And you have to solve a riddle, and then go look for the treasure chest. Well, then you can go on YouTube and look them up, or go on the internet. Do that just to cheat. And it's a lot of fun. And you can become one of those rich guys that's like almost all the cars in the game. But me, I have 300 and I don't know how many cars I have in this mode, but I know it's more than 307. And like I said, just to this game, I have an Xbox One. I would say buy it. buy it. It's like one of the best racing games ever. Like you just can't deny it. Okay? It's just so good. So much content, and it's just nearly endless, like I said. This game also has incredible graphics and a pretty good sound design. And that's another nitpick that I have with this game. So all the cars pretty much sound the same. Like there's just vague differences with the car sounds. And you can just do so much with this game. And to be honest, this game also has illegal street racing. It's only illegal because it's not closed off or anything. You know, there's no cops, which kind of makes it more of a low profile thing. And it's made tiers of cars. Like you got hot hatches, trucks like the huge Mercedes-Benz Unimog. We got like all those cars. And we got like off-road vehicles like the Jeep Trailcat. And we got extreme off-road vehicles like this Toyota trophy truck that I'm driving right now in this race. And like almost all the racing off-road vehicles. There's rally cars. Like for example, like so there's retro rally, which would be the Evo 6 and like Subaru Impreza 222B, those cars. And there's also the infamous Group B cars, which would be Rally Monsters, which also has some legitimate rally cars like the Volkswagen Beetle, the like all of those cars that you might have seen in like Rally Garage and all of that. This game has many different cars like hypercars, track cars, muscle cars, like just any of that. But the game does, its progression is decent, to be honest. It's a decent progression system. Well, I kind of like it, but it's just not the best. So, yep, you should definitely buy this game. Yep, no denying it. It's awesome. So, I will see you next time.